From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Again, get on his free mailing list at johnperkins.org to find out the latest when his new book, Hoodwink, is coming out exactly, he says, in November. And just really excited to have John Perkins back up with us. Hopefully he'll come back in the next few months because this economic crisis is so serious. We went to break earlier. I never asked that question, or I never got the answer to it. So in closing, answer the fellow's question about are there economic hitmen in Iraq and Iran? And then the final point is... do we, in your opinion, have a chance to beat these people?
And first question, lots of economic hitmen and jackals in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. I know some of them. I'm in communication with some of them. But assassins and economic hitmen both doing our dirty work over there. And yes, I think we have an incredibly good chance of getting rid of this, of turning this whole thing around, Alex. That's what my new book coming out in November is about. And again, if people go to johnperkins.org and sign up for my newsletter, we'll be announcing the time of that book. The working title is Hoodwinked. And it really gets into this, that I think we are at a threshold in human history right now where things are in such entropy that we're going to come out of this either under a terrible dictatorship, the most global dictatorship ever in our history, or we're going to come out on top, and I'm fighting for us coming out on top. And I think we all need to get in there together. We have tremendous power as individuals, perhaps more now than ever, because in essence, this new empire is being created through economics, through the way we shop, through the way we live, through the people we watch on television, through the messages we listen to on radio and television. There's a classic struggle going on right now.
So it's insidious that it's not an open military threat, and that's its strong suit, but it's also its Achilles heel because we have inherent power in the system. So you're saying you believe they are overplaying their hand and we've got a good chance on bringing this dragon down?
I think they have overplayed their hand. I mean, that's what, there's a huge revolution going on in Latin America. 10 countries representing more than 80% of the population of South America have voted in very left-leaning, liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it, presidents that are saying no to this. And I think in our last election, when we elected Obama, we said no. Whether Obama's going to go along with that or not is another question, but I think that's the symbolism, that's the message that was sent. People are waking up. They woke up big time in Latin America. They're waking up in the Middle East. And I think we've woken up here, but we need to keep waking up wider and wider and taking more action and not expect that Obama's going to do it for us. We have to do it. We didn't end slavery in this country because Abraham Lincoln found himself in the White House. We pushed and pushed, and we elected a man who we knew was going to end slavery. Women didn't get the right to vote because Woodrow Wilson was for women's suffrage. He wasn't. After he was elected, the women went out on the streets. Everywhere that man went, he was followed by women pickets with huge signs that said, why should we fight for democracy in World War I in Europe when half of our own country doesn't have the right to vote? We didn't get out of Vietnam because Richard Nixon was anti-war. He wasn't. We got out of it because the people demanded it. Of course, we were also losing the war like we are in the Middle East today. But the people demanded it. We took to the streets. We've got to demand it now. But today it's easier because, in a way, we can demand it by the way we shop as much as anything, as you pointed out. We have tremendous control. And for far too long, we've let these people get away with convincing us that what we really want is the cheapest tennis shoes and T-shirts, even though slaves are making them. And it
destroys our industry. It destroys us. It's a gun that shoots both ways. John Perkins, I'm going to let you go. You got another interview coming up. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Thank you so much. The website is johnperkins.org, and the book is Confessions of an Economic Hitman. John Perkins, the new book, working title, Hoodwink, coming out in November. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
Alex, you're beautiful. Keep up your great work.
Thank you. You are too, my friend. Good to have you on. We appreciate your courage. There goes John Perkins, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I didn't get to Joe's call directly for him, but he had to go. But he said he'd like to come back up for a longer interview in the near future, so we will get that done ASAP. Okay, let's go ahead and go to your calls. I haven't been taking enough calls lately. We could take thousands of calls on the show. Literally, we could give each caller like 10 seconds to take 1,000 calls in 4 hours. But I don't do that. I got so much news, so much info. But the other big problem taking calls is callers always bring up such incredible angles and stories and things that I'll go on some rant or dissertation, or they will, that we never get to everybody. And so folks, get dissuaded from calling in. We're taking your calls right now. I'm giving each caller about a minute and a half so we can talk to everybody during this hour. Then we're getting a report from Bilderberg coming up next hour. What all happened to Skelton this weekend? That's top news story in the London Guardian right now. Let's go ahead and talk to Joe in Texas. Joe, you're on the air. Go ahead. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. I have two quotes for you. First one from George Washington, 1796. Towards the preservation of your government, it is requisite that you resist with care the spirit of innovation upon its principles, however specious the pretext. One method of assault may be to effect, in the form of the Constitution, alterations which will impair the energy of the system, and thus to undermine what cannot be directly overthrown, which is exactly what I think has been going on for years here. There is a... Yeah,
they act like the Bill of Rights and Constitution is still there, but really they use it as a doormat or toilet paper. And we've got this incredible tyranny over us, but because there's this illusion of freedom, we're going along with it. But now that illusion's starting to melt, and people are seeing the tyranny for what it is, but they don't have enough respect for themselves to believe they can fight back against it. We have to get people to rediscover the respect for themselves they have and realize you're only alive once, and your destiny is to fight tyranny.
And here's the answer to that question. There is an organization called National Center for Constitutional Studies. The site is nccs.net. They have a course in the 28 Principles of the Constitution on DVD, which I have got, and I have got 12 people who are coming to my house to watch this thing. It is transformational because I think a lot of people know there's something wrong but don't exactly know what it is. And this will give you the information and the background and in order to stand up for what's right, what you know is right, but you don't exactly know how to say it.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your call. We have breaking news here, and the reason this upsets me is I heard this already last week from someone I know in the military, but they wouldn't come on air. Kind of like my cousin came to my door 5 years ago, and he's an officer, and he said, yeah, we got called down to Fort Sam Houston for an officer meeting. There were 200 of us or so in the auditorium. We were told it was classified and that everybody was going to be, all the officers were going to be getting chips within 2 years. Then I've seen him at family events once or twice a year now, and he won't talk to me about it. He says, I'm not going to talk to you about it. I don't know. I didn't tell you that. He came to my house to tell me this 5 years ago, and then now won't talk to me about it. And this, you know how huge this is? Get this to Paul Watson now. In fact, Genesis, call Paul Watson. See, I said I'd take calls? Stuff breaks. It isn't happening. My God, ladies and gentlemen, they have bills introduced to completely ban any guns they want at will. I'll give you the bill numbers coming up. They have things where they put you on a secret list and you can't own guns. In fact, I have both of those bills right here. It's H.R. 2159, where they list you as a terrorist. You can't own guns. Here's another one. Bill in Congress would ban gun ownership at will. That is, give you the bill number on that, H.R. 2401. And then I actually printed off the other one because I've been covering these over the last few days, and I wanted to give people all of it in detail. This is WorldNet Daily. H.R. 1022. Congress planned to let AG ban guns at will. This allows them to ban any guns they want at will. Blank check. That's H.R. 1022 by New York Democrat Carolyn McCarthy. God. This other one is the Terrorist Act, and that's H.R. 2159, which allows them, anybody on a list can't own guns, even if you're not convicted of anything. And then the other bill says if you're on a no-fly list, no gun. That's the H.R. I listed, H.R. 2401, no-fly, no-buy act. Why do I say that? Watson, I already confirmed this with local Austin military, but they wouldn't come on air. So I just kind of was told this by someone I know personally. And then I just forgot about it last week because I'm getting hit from too many angles here. I can't keep track of it anymore. There's too many balls in the air. I was sent a secret document about regular Army spying on us at the end of the Fed protest with Ron Paul's brother in Dallas and Ron Paul being spied on by regular Army in Houston on the end of the Fed protest last year in November. It was since confirmed the Army spying on us. This is the Department of the Army, Charlie Company 3, Battalion 187th Infantry Regiment, 3rd BCT. Get this to Watson now. Absolute red alert. They've taken off the name here, but I separately can call the number. And this is just off the charts. I just can't believe how criminal these offshore bankers think they own you, folks. They think they're going to step on your chest and plant a flag on our head, with a spike right through it in our head. I just can't handle it anymore. I mean, they want war. They are trying to push the American people into physical conflict. Look.